Hello, Dr. Gemma. Okay, so it is me again. It's Jared. Yes, it is. And this is for my video reflection. So this is the part two of my final. And so I'm going to respond to the prompts. And so first, we have listed. What have you learned about yourself after taking this class? I actually learned a lot about myself. I learned how I communicate within group settings. I know how I approach conflict. I understand why I react certain ways to situations. Um, I understand the impact of emotions on relationships, especially in conflict. I've learned one thing that's pretty much stuck with me. I remember we talked in class about the resentment, the little sneer someone gives you, and all of my um, actions or interpersonal relationships. That's one thing I'm gonna try to avoid is to avoid anyone resenting me. I'm gonna try to be more open to discussion and to a wide variety of options. Whereas sometimes, I just had my point of view and I felt I was right. And just me being a male in nature, like, yes, I am collaborative and I do like to collaborate, but sometimes, I can be, have a competitive style, which is just like, hey, I win or you lose, or if you win, I lose. I don't know if it's just because of competition or, just me being a middle child, and it's just like, hey, it's limited resources. I'm all about realism in that approach, so that could be a reason why that I felt like I had like a zero sum game. I win, you lose, because of my past history and the way I came up. It's just like, so many resources. We have one mom. It's certain things we had to have, or one. It was just like, hey, I had to go for it. Um, so that could be a reason why I'm competitive in some ways. But I actually learned a lot about myself. I learned which types of styles and methods allow for more productivity, which are bad in regards to having a negative impacts on situations, and which have no effect on either, but can limit productivity. So I've learned a lot through this class. It's been really helpful, especially through negotiation. So the second question, moving on, it says, what conflict management strategies will you utilize in your interpersonal relationships? I would like to apply this to the work setting just because I'm getting ready to go out into the workforce, pending my successful completion of my classes, which I know I will do because I have excellent professors. So I like to apply this question to the workplace for the simple fact that, based off me doing research in this class, it's taught me a lot in regards to um, conflict styles and job satisfaction, and it was pretty good evidence or research, and the ones I will try to use is just pretty much being collaborative. Um, Sometimes avoidance is good when you feel like there won't be a positive effect, or you feel like it won't. You're just trying to preserve the group interest, but that style it leads to a lack of efficiency because you don't talk about the issues needed in order to come up with productive and creative ideas. So it limits those discussions that you have that may lead to something beneficial for a group. What I did like is that with the collaborative style, um, is that not only am I getting to listen and broaden my scope on how I perceive things and view things, I'm getting to see, um, a wide variety of thought processes, and not only thought processes, but how people feel and how certain situations make people feel in their history. So it makes me more knowledgeable in regards to my future interactions with people when I'm in diverse groups of what to look out for. And also teaches me, to learn synergy and, to be an important piece of a team, and, to learn how to be more objective in my dealings, and watch and perceive, and allow for different levels of analysis and discussion. So I'm pretty sure I'll use the collaborative one the most because it research says that it ends up with the most productivity and the most creativity, and that's what I'm all about. Um, so lastly, you asked if you were asked to mediate a conflict between two people, what advice would you give? And for time's sakes, because I've already gone over 5 minutes, I'm just gonna give five, at least five. First, I would be sure to remember to let them know this is not a problem or conflict. It's just an issue. What is the issue at hand? What is the issue that we are discussing, or what is the topic of discussion? Secondly, um, I would use seating, or have seating, use the seating method in order to show fairness, and then not only fairness, but to show that I'm kind of the one in control of the situation, rather than them two duking it out, having it in a position to where a triangle, to where it's kind of like equal, allows for equal flow, or like a pyramid thing. Okay. Next, I would make sure that they will want my help. I'll ask both parties, do you want someone, to give you a outside perspective? Do you want my help before we start this? And that's to prevent a bias. Also, to prevent biases, I'll also, ask, is it okay, in regards to when I ask who wants to speak first? Or I will use direction simply because you're sitting to my right. I'm going to ask you, is it okay that this person speaks first? Or I'm going to ask that you speak first simply because you're on my left. And then seeing if both parties are okay with that. And if not, okay, we'll go to probability. I will flip this coin. Everyone can see that this coin has heads. A certain side on one side of the coin, a certain side on the other side of the coin. We'll flip it, or we'll pull a straw, whatever method they both agree on. Um, Also, the use of the talking stick. Here you are. Here's the talking stick. When this person has a talking stick or the talking object, no one is to talk and interrupt until it is released of their presence and then given to them in turn, and then that's when they have the power to speak. I would also ask them to refrain from using any negative languages or behaviors, in which I would stop the mediation and tell them to take a break or calm down or cool off, and before we can go any further. Um, Another thing in mediating conflict, um, as far as advice, is to pretty much just make sure there's no bias. I won't take any sides. I'll be impartial or nonpartisan in my dealings, and pretty much, just try to get the issues on the table, to see, hey, what's concerning you? What's your biggest concern with the situation? What's your biggest concern with the situation? Are you aware that you guys are saying the same thing? You're just going about it the wrong way. You both want the same things. So how can we work towards these same things? How can we work towards these goals? How do you feel about this? How does this make you feel? Asking these questions just to make them knowledgeable on how they're making each other feel, or how the other person is feeling, so that we could find a way to reach a good situation, or a resolution in the matter. So those are my steps to conflict, on how to manage and mediate a situation, and then also trying to get to the resolution of the issue at hand by seeing what both parties want, um, viewing their concerns, how certain things make them feel, or what the other person does, how that makes them feel, and then trying to find a way that we can achieve both of their goals, or their seemingly perceived incompatible goals, and find a solution that fits both of them. All right. Well, that has been my second part of the final. Sorry, it was 9 minutes. But I was just trying to give you accurate answers. So I actually was doing the work. I've really learned a lot from you this semester. I do plan on staying in touch. It's been great and an awesome learning experience. You're one of the best professors I've had at the university, and it's one of the most awesome classes I've learned just because it has a significant impact on my life and how I'm going to use these concepts in the future. So I thank you for your effort, your efforts, um, as far as in regards to class and teaching us and remaining impartial and just being a amazing person. So kudos to you, and you have a great holiday.